The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. And today, like every show that I say, or every podcast episode that I say, I have like very unique individuals. But this one is very special to me for the reason that I've been talking to her before we even started the podcast. And I was like even inspired by some of the words that she said. So today we have the founder, owner, executive, artist, director, fashion director, choreographer, and instructor at NG, or Next Generation Professional Company, which is also co-owns and operated by her beautiful daughter, Miranda. And she's also founder and designer of Styles and Designs by Miranda, a clothing brand that has been invited before to New York Fashion Week, LA Fashion Week, Miami, Paris, London, and all that. We have Miss Becky Trejo Upshaw.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the podcast.
Wow, you made me sound amazing.
You are.
Thank
You really are.
you.
And I think everybody would agree.
Thank
Real
you.
quickly, let's introduce who we also have here.
Hi, I'm Marquise Cannon, a dancer, model, and choreographer for Miss Becky. Mostly.
Awesome.
Hello, my name is Michaela Cifuentes. I am 24 years old. I am a choreographer, dancer, actress, and model.
Nice.
Signed with Icon Studios Dallas and 42 Model Management.
Nice. We also have somebody on Zoom. Carlos.
Hi, I'm Hannah Etheridge. I'm currently in school, but I'm still modeling, dancing, and all of the above.
And we also have the lovely Miranda.
Yes.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Miranda Brackens.
We have to improvise a little. We had a big family come through, so thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start with a segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so we got some graphics playing for right now.
Okay,
For all the ones that
okay.
have not seen the video, you need to go check it out.
Okay.
Carlos did amazing. Okay, you all ready?
Yes, ready.
We go. We're going to start with Miss Becky.
Okay.
Tacos or tortas?
Both.
Both.
Oh.
Even.
That's all right. How about yourself? You know what taco or torta is?
Torta.
All the way.
I love tacos.
Tacos, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Corn tortilla, flour tortillas?
Flour tortilla.
Flour.
Corn.
Corn.
Flour.
Gorditas or flautas?
Flautas.
That's even. That's even.
That's
both.
even? All right.
Both of them are going to make me gorda. So, but I'll go with the flauta.
It's a well-balanced diet. Both of them are. They really are. Okay, so you the Mexican coca or the jarritos?
Oh. I'm going to have to go with both.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Jarrito.
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 Awesome. Okay, agua de horchata, jamaica o tamarindo?
Horchata.
Horchata.
Tamarindo.
Tamarindo. Escuchará. Salsa verde, salsa roja?
Roja.
Verde.
Roja.
Roja. Okay, who's 21? Over 21? All right. You like to drink?
No, I should have said not me.
Have a drink?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Okay. Do you like, actually, no. Before we get to that one, menudo pozole?
Pozole.
Okay, I kind of want to play this game.
No, you don't want to play?
Oh, okay.
You don't want to play? Okay. All right. So what'd you say?
Okay, she'll go first though.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, so menudo or pozole?
Pozole.
Menudo.
Menudo.
Pozole.
Okay, we have Dos Equis, Corona, or Victoria beer?
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis.
Dos X.
Dos X.
Dos Equis, okay. Tequila, mezcal.
Tequila, but I'm not good to be around with tequila, but tequila.
Oh, yeah. Tequila also?
Same thing, Miss Becky.
Tequila.
No. Don't get
See-
us together with the tequila.
I'm like 5'4", well 5'3" and a half technically, but whenever I had a tequila, I feel like 7 feet something.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I feel
I'm
you,
with you.
like-
I just
I'm a
feel big.
ninja, man. I'm a ninja.
I'm tall, but
Yeah.
I feel taller.
Yeah, that's a taller. Absolutely. Okay. Valentina, salsa, Valentina, Tapatio, Cholula.
Cholula.
Cholula?
Cholula.
Valentina.
Valentina, there you go. Okay, so you know those Mexican candies, the little paletitas that they have either sandia, elote, or mango? Which one would you like?
Elote.
Elote?
Sandia.
Sandia?
Mango.
Mango.
Why am I give it the
Okay, the conchitas, the conchitas, the breads. Do you like the brown ones, the white ones, or the pink ones?
Pink ones.
Pink ones.
Pink.
Pink.
Refried beans or borracho beans?
Oh man, it depends on what I'm eating because I like
Yeah.
them both.
Nice.
Yeah.
Refried.
Refried.
Depends.
Yeah.
Refried.
This is some tough questions.
It's
They
difficult.
really are.
You didn't tell me you're gonna hit me with the questions this difficult.
See, that's the hardest questions you're gonna answer today, because
Okay.
after that is everything's from the heart.
Okay.
Okay, so this is called the Global Latin Factor, and I feel like it's just for the namesake, right? Because it's just about bringing awareness to that we're just people in general, and that's the reason why. But in general, what does the word Latino mean to you, or what does it bring to mind whenever you hear Latino, Latina, Latinx, whatever the word?
Honestly, that's a really good question. I think for me and my background and my family, hardworking, dedicated, loyal. When I hear Latinos, Latinas, I automatically think of family and togetherness. And just it sounds crazy, but like team playing. It's like I don't even have to know you, but if I'm in a situation and I'm surrounded by Latinos or Latinas, I feel like if my tire's flat, they're gonna help me. I feel like if something's going on, I'm gonna get the help I need. So I don't know. It's just a comfort with that word. It just means it's sentimental to me. It's kind of crazy, but it means a
absolutely.
lot.
Thank you for that. What about yourself? What do you think about the word Latino in general?
Miranda goes, I wasn't supposed to say. Yeah.
You're out of the game now?
She's not playing the game no more.
Oh, okay,
Miranda
okay,
gets
okay.
really shy,
Oh, you
and
good.
she's like, "Oh, I'm not playing no more."
That's only on the mic, but
Yeah.
like in the runway and pictures, oh man, fearless.
Yeah. Well, she
Yes,
doesn't have to talk
absolutely.
to nobody.
Nah.
To speak.
Yeah. And she just
Well,
goes out there and does it.
like I'll be like with the pictures, I'll be like,
know.
it's awkward to me. It's awkward to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. What about yourself? What comes to mind as far as when you hear Latino, Latin?
I think like unkillable spirit and culture. Like I know that everybody that's from the Latina like culture or they are full of spirit.
I love
Every
it.
time they have something that like ties them back to like their ancestors, something that keeps them intact with their family. And I think that's hard to find in a lot of other cultures.
I love that. Thank you for that. What about yourself?
Can we
Cifuentes.
switch the rotation? Can I start going first now? I'm sorry. Because they really just took all the words
So what
out of my mouth.
happened was, no. So that you gotta dig deep now and like
Gotta dig deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
No, mine
Mama
is just
Kayla.
very much similar towards what Ms. Becky said. I work with a lot of the Mexican culture with the students that I have, and I consider them my kids. I don't have kids, but they're my kids.
Nice.
And when I think of Latina and Latino I think of very much family oriented,
Right.
disciplined. I think, like what Ms. Becky said, very much togetherness. I feel that, when I'm around Latinos and Latinas, like what Ms. Becky did say, you feel like if something were to go wrong at that certain moment,
Right.
somebody's going to have your back.
Absolutely.
So that is very much what I wish I would have gone first. Because I took all the words out of my mouth. But no, that is very much what I think. I do think togetherness. I
Did she
think
just
family
copy?
oriented.
She just copy everybody?
I think she was
No, I'm just
copying.
kidding.
Kayla, are you copying?
Well,
This
she
one I'm
learned a
saying,
lot from
yeah.
Miss
You know
Becky.
what?
Yeah, that's okay.
The rotation's gonna go this way now.
Yeah.
No, I like that. No, that was beautiful because I feel the same way at certain things. I know it could be huge and massive and different things, but I think everything that y'all said is beautiful. Okay, so I know you got interviewed before, and I don't know if maybe during the time of the interview they might have asked you some questions. They're like, "Man, I wish they would have asked me this, or I wish they would have asked me that." Does anything come to mind right now?
A question that I guess maybe about like coming to the studio, like why should students come to your studio to train?
Right.
What can I offer the studio to the students that come to the studio? Because one of the things I'm finding is a lot of people don't like. We have some people that I'll run into. They'll meet me and they're like, I'm gonna come and check out your studio, and they come. And then when they come, they're just like, man, if I would have known it was like this a long time ago, I would have came sooner.
Right.
And like, well, what kept you from coming? They're like, well, everyone's just amazing there.
Right.
Like, everyone's just great. I didn't feel like I was good enough to come dance there, come train there. And I'm like, nobody came in knowing how to do what they do.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's called a class. It's called a class so you can come in and you can learn and we train you. It's a training platform.
Yeah.
And it's not just a training platform for dancing and modeling and learning different styles of choreography. But it's also, we take a lot of pride in working with the kids about self-confidence,
Right.
Feeling confident enough that if you love it, all you have to do for NG is love dancing, love modeling. And we can teach you how to do anything, but I can't teach you how to love it. That's something that has to come from the heart.
Awesome.
And I feel that a lot of people will look at our social media and they're prejudging that they have to be at a certain level to come train with us. And that's not true. Like Michaela, Marquise, I mean, I've worked with them since they were children. They were babies. Facebook, not the other day, a photo popped up of me and Michaela when she was 9 years old in the middle of a private session.
This
You
one?
know, yeah, she was holding her
I
arms
know
to first
exactly that.
position,
I know that
and I
photo.
was positioning her arms. I had no idea her mother was taking those photos, so
Oh,
it was
wow.
kind of like it was very sincere, photo.
Yeah.
And Marquise I had since he was very young, and Marquise, like, we have different students that are technical dancers. We have freestylers. As y'all start meeting, we have y'all can't see, but we have a crew here from NG. Some that have been with me for a long time. Some of them that are new. But a lot of them, no one came in knowing how to do the things that they do,
Yeah.
but they all came in with the same spirit. And that was the passion and the excitement about wanting to learn how to dance.
Yeah.
All you have to do is love to dance and we can teach you the rest.
Yeah, I think what it is for a lot, or just for everybody in general, whenever we see something that we don't understand and we don't know, then it kind of scares us a little bit
Yes.
until you actually get to learn about it. Because you're right. If I saw the videos on the Instagram and stuff, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't think I want to go over there.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's a
mean?
little scary,
But
yeah.
it's not that. So let's get that out of the way. It's not that. You can come
No.
at any level. And is there a particular age ranges that you like to
As-
work, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't, but as young as 3, as old as me. You know what I mean? We take any age, and like I said, as long as they want to learn to dance, or they want to model, we definitely have a place for them, and they don't have to come in knowing how to do it. And another thing too is the atmosphere there at the studio is very it's inviting, or I like to believe that it's inviting. That's probably one of the biggest compliments we receive all the time for new students coming in is the atmosphere and how inviting it is and how welcoming they felt. And honestly, all my kids at the studio, and I call kids because to me, I look at Michaela Marquise and I still see them as little kids, all of them, so I still say the kids, but they were all new at one point.
Absolutely.
So they know what it's like to feel new. So when new students come in, they remember that.
Yeah.
So they try to make you feel welcome, trying to make you feel comfortable and at ease. So I think that's probably one of the things. I've gone to a lot of interviews, and there's always interviews about talking about what we're doing now and how we're going to LA, Miami for fashion weeks, and how we've performed in some big name stages. We've worked with a lot of big name artists. But one of the things that people forget to ask me is how did, what did we have to do to get started?
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
what can just anybody come? And the question to that is yes, anybody can come. Anybody can do this. I'm a strong believer that like dream catching isn't just for a select few. Dream catching is for anybody who wants to chase a dream.
Yeah.
And at NG, we're really big on not just chasing it. Like, I'm a strong believer that we're not just going to chase it and run for nothing. We're going to catch something. So be ready to catch whatever it is that you're wanting.
Your philosophy as far as when you speak and when you're addressing the students, because I've been there a few times, and I can vouch that even the vibe itself when you're there feels real pleasant. Like, you know what I mean? There's some
Yeah,
really good
thank you.
energy. I don't know about energies, but I feel really
You're
nice.
right.
Like you said, like
Yeah,
welcoming as
yeah.
far as like I don't feel like out of place. Everybody's so
Yeah.
polite.
Yes.
Everybody comes say hi, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So that's
good.
awesome. Okay, I want you to share the story that you told me when I was there of the first time whenever you actually went into the place, the building, and
Yes.
you were not sure if anybody was gonna go and take some of the classes.
Yes.
Can you share that with us?
Okay, so NG, this is actually in June. We will be celebrating our 10th year anniversary.
What?
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah, so excited about that. And in 2012, June 2012, Miranda and I, I was at another studio that I had been there for a long time, for years. It was a competitive studio, and it wasn't for me anymore. And the competition can get kind of ugly sometimes.
Right.
So I ended up leaving the studio, and a little heartbroken too, because I had been there for so long, you know,
Right.
and the children that were there. And the competition got really ugly, and I just felt like I shouldn't be teaching anymore, because I felt like I should have done more to protect the kids that were there from the situations that were taking place. And it just had everything to do with competition, but kind of playing. I felt like the kids were being played against each other. I feel
Right.
like we had so much amazing talent there that some of the kids felt like they were worthless, like they weren't good at doing something. Because over there, it's like either you were number one or you were last place. There was no such thing as first, second, third, fourth. So I left that studio feeling like that's not what I want to do. Like I felt these kids, you know, things got really bad, and I felt like I didn't deserve to teach anymore. So I was going to quit teaching. And it was Miranda's senior year. And I pulled away. I was no longer going to teach, but I continued working with some of the kids because we weren't done with the competition season. And at the end of the day, I had a large group that I was still working with. We still had another competition to go. So I was working out of a garage, one of the parents' garage. The Luckies, Kyra and Caitlin Lucky's home, their garage. Their parents opened up their garage. They had it set up like they had a little dance floor with a mirror in there. So we continued working in there just so I could get the kids to finish. I no longer went back to the studio, but I was working in there to help the kids finish up the season.
Yeah.
Well, after that, I wasn't going to teach anymore. I worked at Baylor for like 22 years in the physical therapy department. So I would work at Baylor and I would go teach in the evening. And I worked 7 days a week doing that. And so I finally said, okay, well, I'm just going to stay focused on physical therapy and continue doing what I've been doing. And unfortunately, I won't be teaching anymore because I feel like I didn't protect some of the kids like I felt like I should have. So I didn't think I was worthy enough to continue teaching. Well, the group of parents at that time had a different idea for me. They were, it was supposed to be like, we're supposed to get together, have dinner, say our goodbyes. And they kind of had a heart-to-heart meeting with me. Okay, Michaela's mom being one of the ringleaders
I needed
of that.
you.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was like, Michaela needs you. You can't just stop teaching. Let's get emotional.
I know my eyes are getting watered right now. I'm trying not to look at you anymore.
Don't look at me. I won't look at you. Okay.
You're a little superhero too. I heard what you did too. Like you stood up to something, so that's awesome.
Yes, we talked about a situation with Cece, and Michaela stood up, was standing her ground, didn't like.
I'm not gonna look at you anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, here comes the tears.
She didn't like the way she was being treated, and I happened not to be there at the moment that it was taking place. But when I walk in, we ended rehearsals. It was the last straw of the way the kids were being treated there, and it was the way Cece and Michaela had to stand up for Cece, who was only 6 at the time? 6?
She was up to my hip.
Yeah, she was very little, and she was having to stand up to this individual to protect her.
Shout out to you. But now that you got them at the restaurant, they're having a heart to heart.
The parents are having a heart to heart, and they're like, you can't. But the kids need you. If you don't, they have nowhere to go. Right. The locations were too far, too expensive. Financially, they couldn't afford to go to the other studios that were like Plano and Frisco, and Allen that taught, had great technical training. So then they talked to me into I couldn't quit teaching, or the kids were going to have to quit dancing, and I couldn't let them do that. Yeah. So we got talked into, we worked in the garage. We started off doing little classes in the garage, conditioning classes, running around the neighborhood, doing technique classes, had little built-up ballet bars. And we started getting to where we didn't fit in there, And then we ended up subleasing from a friend of mine who had a studio. And she was like, just do it for a month. Because I'm like, I don't know, because how everyone says they're going to come take your class, but then nobody will show up. So I was like, I've never done this before, and I never thought about opening my own studio. I was very content with just working at a studio and working with the kids. And mind you, I had been there like 9 years, so I had been there a long time. So it wasn't like I was there a year or two. It was a long time. So Miranda, I'll never forget our first day, we went ahead and agreed and said, okay, we're going to sublease for a month. Let's just see what happens. On our way driving to the building, I was telling Miranda, oh my goodness, what if nobody comes? Like, how embarrassing is this?
Right.
Should we have done this? Maybe we shouldn't have done this. Maybe, should we have done this? And she's like, I don't know, Mom. We'll just see. If nobody's there, it's okay. We'll just, make the best of it or whatever. So we're driving up, and it's in a shopping strip. So there's a lot of cars out there, right? And we're driving up, but you don't know if the cars are for, the doctor's office, the convenience store. So we get there, and I'm already feeling nervous, but we're like, okay, let's just get down. We get down, we go up to the door, and I said, man, do you think anybody's going to come? And I'm right about to unlock the door. And when I unlock the door, you hear all these doors opening, car doors opening.
Yeah.
And so when we turned around, it was the kids. They all came.
Oh my God.
It was like the studio was full. We had a full studio, and that was 10 years ago in June, and we've been running since. It was crazy because the studio, I had no intentions of continuing teaching, but God had different plans.
Absolutely.
And everything just kind of fell into place. And I wasn't meant to quit teaching. I was meant to provide a home, a safe haven home for artistic children that maybe financially couldn't afford to go somewhere else, because that's the reason why we started it, because financially to go other studios, it was just too much money.
Yeah.
And they were going to have to quit dancing. And I don't know, it was weird. It was like the best feeling ever, because we walked in and me and Miranda were just like, oh my God, they're here for us.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And everybody came in. It was a very exciting moment, and it just one thing led to another, and we've just evolved. Like, that's when we were doing competition dance, and then we switched to performances, to music videos, to opening for fashion shows, and then to modeling, because they liked the look of our dancers, and they were trying to grab my dancers. Come on, you're supposed to be getting ready in the back. Whoa, we're opening. They're not your models. They're the dancers. I'm very particular about their looks and the way they present themselves, how they carry themselves. Yeah. And then they're like, well, we'd like for some of them to model. And then they started modeling. They're like, they said, can they model? I said, yeah. And the girls are like, we've never done this before. I go, it's like choreography. 5, 6, 7, 8. You walk down that runway, you get to the end, do your poses, hold 3 seconds, turn back. So we were at the beginning with the runways, we were counting 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 and 2, and pose 3, 4. And we just kind of went from there. And then, go ahead.
So you took what you knew from the dancing and you kind of like worked it into doing the modeling with
yes.
Well, that's crazy.
What's crazy is that, honestly, when I say that God puts things in front of you, He definitely did that for us, because different doors just started like opening for us. And then doors that didn't open, it didn't matter, because one of the tools of the trade at NG is that I don't ever want the students or the kids to be dependent on someone opening up a door for you. Right. It's important for me for you to pick up the tools and learn how to build up your own doors. That way you can walk through any door you want to walk through.
I love it.
And that's just that's really important for me, because this industry can be really ugly. It can be a little crazy, and you have different people that have a definition of what success is, or what is the road to success. And there's not just one way. There's not one road. And there's so many different definitions of success, Right. Success is being happy in what you do. That's what I believe. Absolutely. And I think that everybody, depending on your background, depending on who you are, depending on just your personality, the road you take will be different from the person sitting next to you. So comparing yourself to the person sitting next to you and trying to do everything they're doing is not going to help you. It's okay to be inspired, but you've got to set your own road. You've got to set your own goals for yourself, and you have to find your own path.
Absolutely.
And we'd like to. I like to believe that we try to provide the tools to help people see that and to try to figure that out. You know.
The thing that I love about everything that you do, besides creating a great environment, the place itself, is the mental stuff that you actually still do. Even talking. Like, you feel like you're speaking to a motivational person, you know what I mean?
You.
But at the same reason, I know that that's addition to all the training, because this is one of the most important, the mind, and getting them ready depending on where they came from. We don't know what's going on with their home or not.
Exactly.
But still, you have the parents that support them and got them there, but then you just take them to another level. And that's beautiful.
Thanks.
So I do have some of the students here, so I want them to share some of their experiences of what NG has done for them. So we're going to go with
Mr. Marquise.
This is Marquise. NG has grown me in a multitude of ways, but I think the greatest thing is that I learned that it didn't matter how different you were, there was a place for you. That you always could be useful and have a good time, no matter what you were and who you were. Miss Becky was very good at noticing talent. She was very good at noticing skills within people and finding a use for them. I was a freestyle dancer, and in my opinion, a very good one at that. And Miss Becky saw that. She was like, oh man, this kid, he can catch up onto any beat. You know, if the song changes, he'll be able to figure it out. But I was cocky. I was arrogant, and I wouldn't show up to practices. And then I'd come up to when we were about to go and do the performances, and Miss Becky, Miss Becky would say, "Oh, who are you?" "Oh man, you haven't been here, so I've already, set up, places for everybody else. Yours is out there in the seats." And that was the first time in my life that I noticed that it didn't matter how good you were. If your character was bad, then you were bad. It was just that simple. That's the biggest take I got from NG.
Yeah, what has helped you because I think some of the things he teaches, it helps you in life itself. So what has it taken from that experience to in the real world for you?
Oh man. In the real world, you see me, but they don't see me. Yeah. Looking at me, a lot of people immediately are like, oh man, this guy must have a lot of confidence in himself. And I did. I gained confidence from being with Miss Becky, not arrogance. Mm-hmm. I learned how to actually look at myself and know what I was and who I was. And now I walk and people automatically are like, oh man, he's not going to give you the time of day. And then I speak to them and they see I'm goofy and I'm happy. Yeah, and what I want to give is people the clarity of mind to know it doesn't matter who you are. You can talk to anybody. Yeah. You can go and talk to Beyonce if you want. You can, because they're just regular people.
Absolutely.
Because that was one of the things I'd say with Marquise. He's very naturally talented, very gifted. He could flip all day long and do stuff, but my whole deal was we work together as a team here. Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna learn to be a part of a team, and our number one goal and focus is for us to get on the stage and look great together, and make sure we're formatting when we're doing tricks. If you're not at rehearsal, someone can get injured, and he gets really excited. So he would just flip and did not pay attention who he landed on. Oh. So it could get dangerous. But my whole deal is everybody's putting in the work, and you're not putting in the work. So why should you be rewarded for that? Nothing, anything worth having, you have to work for. No one's going to give you anything. It's easy to say give it, they can take it from you. So if you want to be a part of what we're doing here, then put in the work just like everybody else did. Or sit in the audience and watch, or you can come help me play the music in the back. Those are the options. So if you don't come to rehearsal, you don't communicate with me, and you're just saying, well, I'm good enough just to put me in there. Well, they're all good. They're all talented. Yeah. They may not have the same strength that you have, but they definitely have strengths in other areas. Yeah. So sometimes in this industry, having arrogance, thinking that you're the only one that can do it. No, you're not the only pretty face. You're not the only talent out there. True. No one's got time to deal with a diva or a divo. Come in, do what you got to do, put in the work. Let's work together as a team, get this job done. I know myself, I certainly... Oh, sorry.
Oh, we're good.
I know for myself that I definitely look at people's personalities. And if you're disrespectful, if you're rude, if you're carrying yourself above everybody else that's working in the same thing you're working in, you're replaceable. Yeah. And this industry is very much that too, unfortunately. Yeah.
Those fundamentals, like even the dancing part, I'm pretty sure the fundamentals you have to like start from the bottom. Even they come in thinking they know in certain little stuff. You have to like get all that together, and the fundamentals of just how to be a good person in general. Like it'll take you further places than not being the most
everybody
humble
wants to work with you because if you go, you could get booked for one job, but in order to keep getting booked, you have to have that demeanor where you're going to be able to roll with the punches. You know that things are going to change, and you're going to be flexible with the changes. That you're a fun person to be around. You have to be likable. Absolutely. Nobody wants to spend like an 18-hour set with someone that's just rude and ugly to everybody. No one has that negative energy is just not welcome in a work environment. Definitely not in a work environment at the studio or NG. And one of the things I definitely like with all the kids and the students or just anyone affiliated with NG is be respectful, pay attention to other people's feelings. Not that I want to get all into everyone's emotions, but we have to respect each other, and you have to work together as a team. and you have to humble yourself.
Yeah,
you have to
absolutely.
stay humble.
Absolutely.
You know, regardless of what all you're doing and who you've worked with, let's not forget where we came from. You didn't start from there.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
and in order to, I think it's important that when you become successful, like I said, everyone's got their different definition of what success is, but success to me also is reaching down and helping somebody up when nobody did it for you. You know what I mean? So just being mindful and don't forget where you came from. And to me, like, speaking of Latinos and Hispanics and just like the generation and a lot of times being a Hispanic woman in this industry is very difficult. There's not a lot of studio-owned dance companies or businesses that are ran by successful, you know, Hispanic women. And it's not easy out there sometimes. You know, you have to stand your ground. You have to be firm. I have a lot of young ladies of different races. And one of the things that we focus on, and even the young men, is being able to stand up for themselves, being able to be, you can be polite, you can be respectful, but you can still be stern and you can still be firm. And you can still say, like, I'll do this, I'll do that, but I won't do this. And you can still be nice about it. Like, I don't have to be ugly with you. If you're asking me to do something, you're being rude to me, say, okay, I'm going to do what I got to do at the end of the day to get the job done. But this will probably be the last time we work together. Now, you have a good day.
Yeah, the professional part, that the company. Okay, so you look like $1,000,000. You look like a superstar already, and the confidence and everything they taught you just comes out of you. So that's awesome. Okay, Missy Fuentes, what have you taken away from NG and?
Oh my goodness. I could go on and on about this one. This specific question, I can honestly say, Ms. Becky as an individual has, here we go. I feel it coming. No, I try really hard whenever I do, because I talk about Ms. Becky a lot with my mom. I try really hard not to say her name because it gets to me.
Right.
It really gets to me.
Right.
I think growing up, I started dancing at the age of 9 with Miss Becky. And I feel like I did grow up fast. I work with everybody older than me. I'm always the youngest in the faculty. I'm always the youngest in the room. They say I have an old soul. But I do think that I did grow up fast, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, how fast I matured and how fast I started, learning the ins and outs. At the end of the day, it did help out a lot. And growing up, I remember I was in a private lesson. I was 9, and Ms. Becky was talking. She was saying something. They were talking about something, her and my mom. And I remember her telling my mom, saying, I understand the situation. It was between another dancer. It had nothing to do with the story. And I remember Ms. Becky saying, I will never reward bad behavior. Ugh. And that saying, that line sticks with me to this day.
That's awesome.
Because I don't reward bad behavior at all. Here we go. And then I think that growing up, I saw Ms. Becky as my mentor, as a businesswoman, as an artist, as a choreographer, and as a dancer. She was in a music video. And,
we're not going to talk about that.
We heard the story.
I saw the way that she handled things at a very young age as a child. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that's Ms. Becky. Like, don't talk to Ms. Becky like that. But I always stood back and I always watched her, how she handled things, how she went about things. And sometimes some parents would, some people come in heated.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Ms. Becky, as a businesswoman, held it together because knowing she has other individuals around her that are a part of the studio as well. And it's at that point, it's like, what is she going to show her clientele? What kind of businesswoman she is and the way she handled things. I take so much. I feel like she is so much of me now as a businesswoman, as a teacher, as a choreographer, dancer, model, actress, the way I handle things. Because, sometimes parents could come crazy at you, but it's your response, it's your delivery back towards that individual and how you took a part of it. And I noticed that, she would say something back, but she kept it so elegant and so classy and so professional, but it was very much to the point. And that individual knew better what to say from there on out.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right?
Yes.
As far as how you want to deliver your message.
You know, she taught me pretty much not only just about dance and choreography, but modeling and being, for me, I consider myself a businesswoman because I do so much now. I do a lot of stuff in front of the camera, but a lot of stuff behind the camera now, as far as like choreography and directing and helping these videographers, you know, making sure when I choreograph for music videos, they don't catch that preparation for that turn. Just get the turn, don't get the prep.
Yeah.
And I feel that I've learned so much because I grew up with such a strong woman, not only her, but my mom as well. Right. I grew up with such strong women that were so influential to me and so inspiring to me. And I feel that, you know, I'm a strong and firm believer of you are who you hang around.
Absolutely.
And, you know, my father always told me, you know, if you hang around people that are lazy and don't want to work, you know, sooner or later, that's, you know, you gravitate towards that energy. And I'm thankful that I was always around such a huge NG family that everybody was so humble and so eager to want to be great and to figure out what their path of success was. Right. And all of us ended up being completely almost different. You know, some of us are similar. Some of us, you know, continue dancing. Some of us went into business. Some of us went into cheerleading. Some of us are just straight model. I mean, but whatever it is, everybody's so successful that came from NG and the teachings that Ms. Becky did teach us. And it wasn't only just, I can honestly say she didn't just teach me about art. She taught me about, you know, to conduct myself as a young woman and to handle myself. And I feel like she does that with all of the young women at NG, how we should handle ourselves and knowing that each and every one of us are beautiful, to not have anybody take advantage of us, and to know your talent, not be cocky about your talent, not be arrogant about your talent, but to know what you're worth. And I think that I'm a very strong believer now, being so involved in the industry, the entertainment industry, I know what I'm worth. And I stand my ground and I need to. And I feel that I learned that from the best.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Aww.
This is all your work.
Thank you.
And I know people.
From we
can clap. We have an audience. We can clap.
Marquise, Michaela.
So I think everybody, like in general, places, companies want to throw the word family around just to try to keep you or try to get the most out of you. But I think whenever y'all say it, it's really something like an extended family or like almost immediate family with all of y'all, really, because that's what it feels like.
It is.
Yeah, it's not like
that.
just our family just because to keep us together because of the company. But it's not just like that's really how y'all feel.
It's forever. It's like once you're a part of NG, you're a part of NG forever. You know, I don't have to see you every day. I don't have to talk to you every day. But if you call me, I'm going to be there. I'm only a phone call away, and that's forever. That's not ever going to change, you know?
Yeah.
I remember leaving for a long time. I remember because I met Miss Becky in 2011 while she was still at the other studio. And her and Miranda were the reason why I was like, I like that studio. And then when I found out later that they had a studio separate, I wanted to go and never got the chance to. I had a poor background, so I never had the chance to. I was living across the whole town. So when I finally got the chance to come back, like it was a breath of fresh air. It was like I breathed air from when I was a kid. And it was like smelling a smell that you remember from when you were a little kid.
That's nice.
That's what it was like. I remember leaving to do Cirque and then coming back and then the same thing happening. You know, she was just like, oh, Marquise, all right, we got a routine we're working on right now. You want to come and learn it? All right, there's the place. Here's the choreo. And then every time.
And come to rehearsal.
It was come to rehearsal. And it was definitely like, all right, Marquise, you're messing up. Get back together. Because, like I said, I was good at freestyle and was never good at learning choreo. But, I now can learn choreo because of Miss Becky.
That's awesome. So we do have on Zoom or Skype. So who do we have on?
We have Miss Hannah Banana.
Can she hear us? Let me see if I can turn this up.
Hi, guys.
Oh, hey, Kazaya. Hey.
Yeah.
Yes, Kazaya, did you brush your hair?
You did not.
Because I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, so we can take it. This is filmed also. So she's like, oh, no.
Okay.
the camera. That's okay.
So let's go. Who do you want to tell the story about, NG?
Actually, either one. Whoever wants to start first, girls.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. So, do they get up now? Okay, y'all want to get up now? Miranda, get up.
Pretty much.
Get me
Especially,
Jackie.
not even just with art and dance, but really just with life skills like confidence, business, professionally, being nice, being
Let's put
humble,
Trent next to me.
all of that. Like even to
And then Colton and Jackie over there. Oh.
Just like how to do my hair, make it like extra big. Like I found like the things that worked for me at NG, and that was like a big part of my development as just growing into a young woman. And then also with leading in dance when I was captain and lieutenant for my dance team in high school. I ran my team just like Miss Becky and Miss Miranda ran their studios. So all of that like played into my high school success and me just developing into the woman I am today. And they still have such a big impact on me, like from when I dress, how I greet people, into like everything, like literally everything. So yeah, now it's Kazai's turn.
Oh, she's.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
So
Hello.
I started really late, like technically training, and like I remember we lived at an old house in Cedar Hill, and my mom was looking for like studios or something for us to put us in, and like and she could afford and stuff. And Miss Becky was like the person to reach. Well, I can't exactly remember how it happened, but I just remember Miss Becky being so open arms, like to us, and we went. That's where I actually started to like truly like train, like for real, and get the training I needed because I was a YouTube girl.
Nice.
And I was like training from YouTube and looking at videos from YouTube at home. So I was so grateful for her to like be that way. I was younger and I didn't really, I saw it then, but now that I'm older, you don't find people like that. That's number one. Like, you don't find people that's so open arms, like, bring your daughters. She don't know us from nothing. Bring your daughters. They can be a part of this show. They can do this. And I'm like, what? Like, we usually gotta pay amounts of dollars to do what she gave us in such a little time. A lot of my experiences came from her. So one thing that I believe that I want to talk about really fast is just how to be kind. My mom, number one, my mom taught us that in the household. That's the first thing. But Miss Becky in the studio, you have to be kind. You have to be genuinely like sweet to people and respectful. That was one of the number one rules. And that I carried with me. I'm in Los Angeles now. I'm from Texas and from Dallas, but I carried that out here. When you get in the industry, which I am now, and I'm grateful to be,
Awesome.
People change. Like, when you get stuff up on your name, like big choreographers, big videos, big tours, and dancers change. And so Miss Becky, my mom and Miss Becky were like two of the main people in my life that taught me to stay myself. If you know me, I'm very goofy. I'm very like, I don't know. I'm 23, but I act 18. My sister is 20, and she acts older than me. And I just have like a bubbly and like kid-like spirit. And I'm being kind it's taken me so far. I've walked in rooms out here in Los Angeles, rehearsals, big music videos for Doja Cat and people like SZA and people like that. And
Wow.
they literally looked at me and said, wow, you're very kind. You're very sweet. Genuinely, I can tell you're a great person. And I can definitely say I learned a lot of that was built up at NG. Like, I literally, yes ma'am, no ma'am, being respectful, saying excuse me. You don't get that anymore, especially in these studios out here in LA. Miss Becky, you need to come to LA.
I'm on my way.
Because we need some help, because these people, a lot of dancers lose the that thought of being kind. And yeah, I don't know if there's any questions. I can answer some questions. I don't know, but that's just really I I want to say being kind and what she's taught me to be kind and be very like sweet and respectful has taken me so far. So yeah.
Yeah. So how's your experience in LA, like overall in general?
I'm gonna say first, God is really good. I graduated college just last year, I think June, July, one of those. Moved to LA in August, like officially. Hannah, my sister, she moved out here for college at Pepperdine in Malibu. So she's like 50 minutes away. So I had her, but like I didn't know. Like I was like, okay, I got signed, so I wasn't expecting to get signed right off the bat. After college, like literally 2 weeks after college, I got signed to Block, which is my first pick of the agency that I wanted to be signed with. That's number one.
Nice.
While I'm getting signed, I still have friends that I just graduated with that are still waiting to get signed to this day. So that's number one. I'm grateful for that. Number two, consistency. That's another thing. Miss Becky taught us to be consistent when we're rehearsing, going across the floor, in rehearsal, doing routines, like energy, the stamina. Being consistent was one thing I really picked up from there as well, and it's helped me out here. I was in classes and I stayed consistent with certain choreographers. So the one choreographer that has booked me for a lot of good things from Doja Cat, I stayed consistent with him, and now I've only been out here less than a month, less than a year, and I've done 2 huge music videos, and I've done my first live show, which is Coachella.
Oh, nice.
I assisted SZA, taught SZA choreography. SZA put me in her music video, but that is a different story. And I just had an audition for Diddy, and I got picked really far. I believe I might be getting picked for future shows this year. I just did a Tinashe video like a couple of days ago with
That's awesome.
a choreographer named Jojo Gomez. God literally is placing things in my lap, and I can't. It's crazy. Like it's really crazy, and people. I'm saying that because I'm not perfect. People might look at me on Instagram and be like, "Cause you're on fire. You're going." Like, yeah, I'm going, but it's the hard work. That's another thing. Miss Becky taught us how to work hard. If you want something, you practice for it. You don't just stand like. Okay, one thing I took away from Miss Becky in classes and rehearsals and like whatever. When you're not doing anything, you should be doing some sit-ups, something on the side. Practicing a routine, you should never just be sitting there because no one has made it. I ain't made it. I'm like, I ain't made it nowhere. I'm practicing, I'm training. Why am I looking at them? Let me do some push-ups. Let me go over the routine, like get my stuff together so I can be the best I can be. And that's what I learned so much. She's such a hard worker. And my mom is such a hard worker. So I'm a hard worker. I love to work hard. So that's another thing I took from her. But being out here, like Miss Becky says, NG is a stepping stone. I feel like if I wouldn't have went to NG, met Miss Miranda, met Miss Becky, met Michaela, met all these Cece, Kyra, all these amazing dancers that have such different qualities to them that I learned from, I wouldn't be as, besides college experience and training, I wouldn't be as experienced as I am today, like professional wise and like dance training wise and a lot of other things, but yeah, God is good. That's what I'm saying. God is good.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna have you on standby because we do have you on Zoom, but we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now, we did a switcheroo on we switched it out a little bit. Thank you, Michaela and Marquise. Appreciate it very much. So we're gonna real quickly introduce who we have now.
Yes.
Colton Butley.
Hi, I'm Jackie Castillo.
I'll pass the mic down.
And I'm Trent Allen.
Oh, you got that voice, right?
Can I repeat? And I'm Trent Allen.
Before we get talking to them, I want to talk about the pricing part as far as the because everybody thinks it is expensive to do certain schools and things like that, right? But you are willing to work with anybody that comes in that, you know?
Yeah, because we do have prices, like for tuition prices, but I was a kid that, I was a street dancer. I never stepped foot as a child in a dance studio. We couldn't afford it. Like I literally had the same pair of tennis shoes for 2 years, and if your toes don't fit, they don't fit. You make a hole, you get some socks to match, and let the toes hang out. Okay, so if I'm struggling to get tennis shoes, they're not going to put me in a dance class. So I was a street dancer, and I would teach my cousins choreography, and they would get cut out of those too if they didn't know the steps. But we started. So what I do is, if you financially if your child really wants to dance, they really want to get involved, don't let money be the reason why you don't bring them. I work with parents. I work with families. We're always going to figure it out. I know Miss Shamika, especially, like she has, we have, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5. Hannah, how many brothers, sisters y'all have? How many of y'all? Let me see. It's the boys. Hannah. Is it 5? It's 5 total. And I have a lot of the Moga family. They have 3. I have a lot of them that have siblings, and it gets very expensive, but come talk to me. I was that kid that never got to step in the studio because we didn't have the money. So the playground was my studio. And because of that, I'm not ever going to turn a kid away because of money. That's just not an option.
That's another thing that I like about you, is that you always find a way to make it work. And I think that's
one way or
mindset.
another. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's a beautiful thing.
But that's also a Latino thing too. You know that? And one way or another, we're gonna rig it. We're gonna rig it up. We're gonna get it fixed. We're gonna get it going.
All this right here, we've never done one like this, even with the Zoom. This is the first time, so it took us a minute to get it going. But again,
you know how
you're
we
right.
do. We gotta load up, get everybody here. We gotta get the party started.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so tell me about your experience at what is it that you do at NG, and what have you taken away from NG?
I'm a dancer, model. I've been there for about
actor.
Actor. I've been there for about 7 or 8 years. I can't really remember.
Nice.
But what I've taken from it is that no matter what, you should always keep working towards your next goal, because you never have anything that you can't learn. Right. It's just, might be too far ahead at the moment, but you can get it later on. And if you are okay where you're at, then you should just stop doing it because it's not for you.
Right. That's nice. So in
Colton's
the real world,
also, he's only 13.
Yes. Did he already do his?
Oh no, he hasn't come. Well, he didn't. His solo, he didn't get to compete because my friend over here, he is a typical boy, 13 years old. And I don't know if his name is Colton Butler, so y'all go follow him on social media, so you can see the things that he does. Okay, and he's being very humble, but he's amazingly talented.
I have a video you put on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's so good.
He
I mean,
is
all
really
y'all
good. But
good.
let me tell you what happened, Crispin, after that. Okay, my friend over here. Okay, he does all these crazy little tricks and is an amazing dancer. But he likes to go to school and trip on the grass and twist his ankles and stuff.
Ouch.
He don't do it when he's flipping in the air, but he's going to do it when he's walking on grass. And so he twisted his ankle, and I didn't let him compete a solo. Like that's another thing. Like I'm not, if they're injured, we're not going to dance on our injured foot. We're going to make sure you're all right, because I don't want it to affect anything in the future. So his first competition will be next on the 14th or 15th. When are we doing? Not this weekend, but the following will be his first time competing this solo for this year. But he didn't get to compete, so
it's all good.
Yeah.
But whatever you had going on at that time, because I don't even understand all that stuff. It was
what?
Hey, the turns. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it was
he's
freaking
a
amazing.
turner.
It
Yeah,
was like I was watching one of them dance movies that they play on Hollywood. Like what? I'm like watching this in real life, like happening in front of me.
He did amazing, but my friend over there just twisted the ankle, went down for a little bit, so we made an executive decision.
I hope you get better. And in the real world so far, what has NG helped you out as far as just maneuvering, moving around in the real world?
It's taught me that no matter like how good you are at something, it's not gonna make you better than somebody else. We're all humans, so we should all treat each other as such. Nobody's higher or lower than each other. We're all equal, and we should all treat each other as equal.
That's beautiful. I like that. What about yourself? What is it that you do, and what has NG helped you, or what have you learned over there?
So I've trained with NG since we opened. I was 12, I believe, when we first opened up, and I currently now I'm on a professional dance team for the Texas Live Lone Stars, and I've also modeled with Miss Becky and Miss Miranda. So I'm forever grateful for that. One thing that I feel like I've learned from being at NG would be to step out of my comfort zone. I'm like 5'8", 5'9". I have big curly hair, and I've always just kind of like hidden it. Like I was super shy, you know. So it's like, how can you be tall and like I'm turning red right now? Like, oh my gosh, I'm like getting nervous already. But it's like stepping out of my comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
And that taught me like to be able to go to work, to dance, whatever I do, to kind of like believe in myself. And Miss Becky and Miss Miranda have also believed in me through it all. So I'm forever grateful for that.
Jackie didn't realize how beautiful she is. You look at her and you would never think that. I know. She's super shy.
I know.
Just like Miranda. I'm surprised Jackie's talking, but she's like, they kind of are really shy with the talking and stuff. But she's always been tall and just, I'm glad that she's finally has stepped out because she's not just beautiful to look at, but she's got a beautiful spirit as well.
I think all of them are beautiful people, but I think whenever the inside is like really good, it amplifies it even more to show, and it does show on all your kids, every single one of them, and it's awesome. Yeah. So in the real world, what have besides all the training and everything, what has it helped you in the real world?
It's given me more confidence to be able to have confidence in myself and to step out of my shell and to really like try things I've never kind of believed in myself to do. Like I've achieved so many things. I'm like, wow. If I wouldn't have tried, like, what's the worst that could happen? Them tell me no. At least I tried and I networked and I put in the door. So I'm forever grateful for that. And I feel like if it wasn't for Miss Becky, Miss Miranda, and NG, I wouldn't have grown that confidence. Right. Because back in 2014, my dad had passed away, and financially, I knew. Thank you. I knew it was going to be hard to afford dancing and all that stuff. But Miss Becky opened opportunities and doors and was like, you know what, we're going to figure it out. You're going to continue dancing, so I wouldn't be here.
Thank you. Look at you, amazing. All of y'all are beautiful, but that's awesome. And what do we have right there? We have a rock star.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. No.
All right, let me have you move the mic on your side, por favor. Okay,
it's going to be hard if we share the mic.
I know, right?
The two Virgos. All
right, so introduce yourself, sir. What do we have here?
Right. Well, my name is Trent. Mm-hmm. I've kind of been trying to go with this really cool thing, calling myself TLAJ. It's just my initials.
TLAJ?
Yeah, trying to see if it sounds cool. Or
TLAJ?
If you sound it out, it's Talaj.
Oh, I was like, I like Talaj better. Talaj catchy.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah. Yeah. I like the Talaj.
I thought. Wait a minute. No, I thought it was kind of cool, but I was just playing around with it.
Talaj it can go. I think it go a long way for you. I like that.
It's literally my name.
Yeah.
My name is Trent Ladero Allen Jr. Well, I'm really the second. So, yeah, I just thought, just to play. If I wanted to do an artist name, I think that would be it. Yeah. But yeah. So
let me have you move the mic a little bit closer to you and tell me, what is it that you do? Are you also part of the NG? Because you do different stuff now.
Yeah. I consider myself an honorary member of the NG company because, I mean, it was like this once we first met.
Nice.
And I have a little thing I'm gonna do. Remind me later before we end this. Can you hear me now? Okay. But so I have an agency called the Bergonian Agency. It's like multimedia, public relations, and brand consulting. And I've always connected with so many different people, and so I wanted to create a company that brought people together, connected, and recommended the best talent that the world has to offer.
Absolutely.
And when I met Miss Becky and the Next Generation Dance Company, it was 7 years ago, a month ago, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just, I'll just do it now. So I wore the shirt that I performed in.
Oh my God.
It has the splatter. Miranda. And her skirt matched my shirt. And I did not know that it was a last minute thought. Do you remember this?
This is how we met.
Okay, so wait. This is how we met. So at the very last minute, right? Because I was like, okay, the show was happening and
he was doing a performance.
Yes. And
we were there.
Yes, I was doing a performance, and at the last minute I was like, it's an art show. I need paint. I just want paint. So I found some acrylic paint randomly in my trunk, and I was like,
Randomly.
and I was like, just
That's what we all do. We carry.
yes.
Okay.
And I was like, I told one of my friends, I was like, okay, when the beat drops, throw it on me. She's like, what? I was like, just throw it on me. And she was like, okay. I said, just throw it to me. I'm just gonna just go crazy.
Okay, so that's his part. Now let me tell you our part. Okay, we're there because we're performing. Also, Miss Miranda is there, looking really pretty with this beautiful top on. I think it was coral color, and she had a skirt, a really pretty skirt on that was same color. We hadn't met Trent yet. We're about to meet him though. Okay? We're sitting in the audience watching, okay, and Miss Miranda, like I said, has this brand new skirt that she spent a lot of money on. She was really excited about it. And continue. Go ahead, Trent. Tell them what happened.
Well, so the beat drops.
The beat drops.
The beat drops. And so did the paint. Oh my God. And I have the video. I've never posted the video.
Used to go on TikTok.
So she throws the paint on me, and I just like went crazy, and like I fell in it on purpose, and I rolled, and I'm like flinging in it. I'm flinging in it. And did I know that Miranda was right there?
Oh my
And it flung all over her
Paint all over her.
Ouch.
All over her. And Miranda's like, just sitting there.
So after the show, like, because I was in the, like, you know, when you're performing, you're in the zone, and
Yeah.
In the zone.
And
He was in the zone.
it was very artistic. Okay.
It was very well.
Yes.
I will give you
Yes.
It was during my whole Raver's Heart project, you know, and it's supposed to be very colorful. So I was like, I need something else. I need something, you know, we have all these people here. Like, we need to make this a thing.
Yes.
And so after the show was over, Miss Becky comes up to me and she was like, she's like, that was really great. It was great. This is Miranda. And
Oh my goodness.
she was like,
You owe me a skirt.
my friend. I can't remember the words. She's like, yeah, my daughter was mad, but then she was like, it's a great performance. It was a great.
Bravo. Hey.
Like, yeah.
Bravo, it was worth it.
It was reminding me of White Chicks when when the paint dropped and the guy was like so revolutionary, so.
Nice.
But I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so
You
sorry.
should have saved the skirt and had you and Trent do it.
I know.
You should have saved
Should have put it on the wall.
Yeah,
On a
get
frame.
this
On a
shirt.
frame.
So this is the paint. Like, it went away, but you can still see the
He
splat.
still got it.
yeah.
This is memorable.
Yeah,
We're gonna
so
have to sign.
Smithsonian worthy. I'm gonna keep this and like I'm gonna put it up and like, hang it and stuff like that.
So whenever you see NG, as far as the next generation, what does it say to you, or what have you take away from everything that she's doing over there as far as the work?
Family oriented, 100%. When I stepped back to the moment she invited me over, she was like, "You need to come to NG. Like, I want you to come to NG. Here's the address. Like, please come." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm there." So, and this at this time, I was actually on my way out. I was like, this dance thing is not for me anymore. I'm getting older. I was like 23 or something. I don't know how old I was, 25. But I was just like, this isn't for me anymore. I'm just like over dance, like, you know. And then when I said that, here they come. And then I was inspired again because I was kind of uninspired during that time. Like I just wasn't feeling it anymore. So I went to NG, and the first day, everybody just came rushing over to me and hugging me. And I had never felt like that before with any company, any dance fam. I had never felt like that. That was the very first time I felt embraced, and you just felt the love in the whole entire room. And I learned because I never took classes or, you know, I'm self-taught, you know what I'm saying?
You too.
So, you know, but it was very like, I needed it. I needed to see, you know, the technique. Miranda, she would teach technique, and like everybody just respected them. And I just was like in awe. I was just like, wow, this is so cool. You know, I've been part of this, you know? And then we did the first Next Generation showcase. And that was what just blew my mind, just seeing how driven and dedicated everybody was every rehearsal, every practice, everybody was just, just hitting hard. And lifting someone for the first time, professionally, because I used to lift my sisters, but like, it wasn't like that. It was like, it was just, I was terrified. But it was so, it was just a moment that I'll never forget. I even like found like this, I was so inspired after the show because we did a whole Selma thing.
Right.
And Selma was iconic. To me, that is just the most iconic, hardest working performance show. It was just seeing how hard everybody worked.
That was beautiful.
It was
That
so
was
beautiful.
really, really beautiful.
So detailed, And I've never forgot that. And I don't know if you still have that. Like, remember that I gave you that?
I do.
You do? I've still wanted to like label it. I still never labeled it.
Yeah, he got me a trophy, and it's not. He got me a trophy.
Oh yeah.
He got me a trophy, and it's glass. It's beautiful, and he goes, "This is for you." And what was the award that you gave me? He goes, "It's not labeled, but I'm gonna label it." I still have it though.
7 years.
I said 7 years, but I still got it, so we'll get it labeled.
And then right by the studio, there's a labeling company, the award company that can probably label it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's partially my part of the story because it's just all the inspiration that comes from this family because it really is a family. I mean, it's a company, but it's a family. When I tell you that people have just, you see how many people have been so successful here. It's because of the dynamic and the rules. She's a mother first.
I think it's. So I was in the military before, and the way that you function is a little bit like it. But there's a method to the madness, right? They do certain things because they know once you do that, something's gonna come out of it, right? If you do certain work and things like that, and every single one of them are like someone got a little reflection of you of the things that and the systems and the wording and the certain things that you've been telling them, and then now it's like it's all true because that's exactly most of them are. There's a high rate of success as far as your students. Okay, so I appreciate y'all. We're gonna switch out. Thank you very much. So who's gonna be? We're gonna be right back. We're gonna switch, and we got a couple more. All right, we switched it up. We have a couple more people, so we're gonna start on this side. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Mose Pro Kid Thomas.
Hi, I'm Skylar Halliday.
Hello, I'm Nikendall Simmons.
All right, so tell me about your experience in NG, Next Generation. Was it brought to you? What has it taught you?
Okay, so I was introduced to NG, I want to say, back in like 2015. And the funny thing was, one of my friends that I used to dance when I started my dancing career back in, 2007, he actually came and taught at NG like a long time ago. And I took class at NG. But, I guess you would say fast forward, I kind of made a full circle coming back to actually become a teacher, becoming a student, becoming part of NG as a dancing family member. But 2015 was really when I started my dancing life at NG. And, it went from like meeting Miss Becky to actually saying, hey, Miss Becky, to like, oh, that's Mama NG. Because she just didn't bring like, oh, I'm a teacher and this is my studio, come dance and call it a day. It was more just like, hey, come dance, let's get to know each other. But at the same time, as long as you're here, I'm going to teach you how to be a better person for yourself at the end of the day.
That's nice.
So it's a lot I couldn't say, but overall, Mama NG has been like a really inspirational like woman, not even just a woman, but just like, another mother figure in my life where I could get information from, where I can get, help from, or just like, just somebody I can like lay my head on because, she always has open arms to anybody that comes in the studio. If she knows you don't know, you're just like, hi, come on in, let's get you dancing. You need something, you need A, B, C, and D. And from my experience, that's what she gave me. So it was a beautiful experience just being an NG when I first started. I have so many stories, funny stories I can tell, but yeah, that's.
Tell me a quick funny story.
So it actually, it sticks with me to this day. No, it's nothing bad, but it's very like, it to me, it says a lot, how impactful she was. I teach now at this studio called Dancer Strong.
Nice.
I'm the hip hop coordinator, everything like that. So when I first started NG and started being on like the company and performing with them, she used to come to the guy and say, hey, make sure you have your black bottoms on. I was like, why? Why? I'm clean. I'm cool. I ain't got to worry about black bottoms. But she explained it more like, hey, black bottoms so it could be very professional on camera, very professional for like the audience to see. It's like, okay, cool. Fast forward now, when I teach my boys or like my boys' crew now when they perform, first thing, hey, perform tomorrow, make sure you have black bottoms. Why, Mr. Mose? Because I said so. It's a reason. It's a reason. Because you're not about to have Mama NG coming up to me like, why your boys wearing this? Like,
I saw it. I saw it on YouTube. I saw it. They didn't have them. Oh.
Yeah, so it's like, you going to wear this, but at the same time, to me, that's very impactful, just like a little small gesture, a small like thing I took from NG, from Mama NG, to be very professional, not just for myself, but for my boys' crew or for anybody that I come in contact with.
Yeah. So some of the things they teach you on military also is attention to detail. Teamwork's the key.
Yeah.
Attention to detail. Yeah, they make you remember that for life. Like a kid, you know what I mean? So that's awesome. All right. Well, thank you. What about yourself? What have you taken from NG? What has it taught you? What is as far as the most influential part of you?
Man, it's kind of hard. Where do I start? Well, I actually originally met Miss Becky and NG with a completely separate type of thing. We were actually doing a show for a place called Septian, where they did a lot of teaching singers and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I got booked for a show for that, and it was pretty much all of her dancers.
Nice.
And so I met a lot of her originals. I don't think there's really
I think it's
any
just
of them.
Michaela.
Yeah,
The OGs.
Michaela was the only one.
Yeah, the two OGs is Jackie and Michaela that are here right now, but Michaela was the only one that was a part of that show that's here.
And I just remember that show being super chaotic. Everything was kind of all over the place.
I wasn't in charge of that show.
Yeah, really not NG at all. It was not, yeah. But then later on, we just started seeing each other places and stuff. And so I just always saw how her students handled themselves, how,
Right.
and that was really my biggest thing to say is I don't consider Miss Becky or NG my dance coach. I would say they're my life coach because for me personally, I was never really, I was a student. I've trained with her, but I've done more business with her than I have actually being at her studio, being in class, being here, there,
Nice.
each thing that she's always done. So for me, it was always the car rides where we would go to New York and stuff and just have conversations
Right.
all night long, literally, and just talking about how I should handle this situation or how I should talk to this person or whatever. My biggest takeaway from her is definitely just how to handle life.
Yeah. I think by default, I don't know if you realize that you really are by the definition a life coach as far as guiding these kids. I don't know if you ever realized that, but the words you say and the certain things that you just sticks to your head, you know what I mean? And it really touches these kids, and he has.
And the thing is when she says it too, it always feels so genuine, from the heart.
Yeah.
If she really tells you I love you, you feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I love you as a student, your family.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing. And who do we have here? Let me get Mike a little closer to you.
Hello, I'm Nikendall Simmons. I'm a model and a dancer for Miss Becky.
Nice.
And I came when I was around 14, 15, and I was actually trying to decide between her studio and the one she taught at before. And I went there, and I was going, and the instructor was telling me, oh, you're too lanky, or your leg is so long you can't pull it behind your head. And he made me go across the floor with some other dancers. He was like, you don't have it. So I was like, okay, let me go try the other studio. So when I went to Miss Becky, I was like, oh, they finna embarrass me. I go across the floor, and Miss Becky just kind of analyzing me from the back. She hasn't really said a lot to me. At that time, Cece was there, and she's like, hey. And I'm like, I'm new, hey. And she was like, you don't have to look like that. Just get comfortable and just try your best. So I'm going across the floor, and I'm jumping. She's like, yeah, girl. They just encouraged me to do better. And I'm just like, okay, mama, I think I like this. And at the beginning, Miss Becky was like, just try your best. You don't have to get this at this amount of time. Just go home and practice on certain such and such. So I came back again,
Mm-hmm.
and then Miss Becky gave me a specific combo. And I'm like, okay, this is my second time, but you're giving me this combo. Okay, I'll make sure I go home and practice.
Right.
I came back that next time, and I got it. And Miss Becky just taught me, just take your time, take it slow, and perfect it at your own time.
It's
Don't
so
be
wild
so
to
hard
me
on
that there's a
yourself.
story like that you go to a different place and they can talk to you that way, even though you have you have dreams, you want to do this, and you have like you're so excited about it, and then just kind of tear you down. But
Yes.
the fact that you stuck with it and you went and landed at the right place, I think that place wasn't for you anyways.
Yes.
But that's awesome. So what else have you taken away from NG?
I've taken confidence. When I first came to NG, I was going through a lot of personal stuff in myself to where I personally didn't want to be here. And I told Miss Becky that. And
I'm glad you're here.
Yes, she gave me like a purpose to be here, having confidence in myself, because I always thought, like Jackie said, I was lanky and tall and a little dark. I was like, oh no, like I'm not cute or I don't feel confident in anything. And she actually just took me one-on-one and talked to me and told me, like, you're beautiful. You can do anything you can. With modeling, when I started, I was all shy and stuff. I would do it, but when she asked me to be in a show, I was like, you want me to be in a show. And I couldn't even look in the mirror and tell myself I was beautiful or anything like that. She made me believe that I'm amazing, I'm beautiful. I can do the best at something and still be humble with it and not get too arrogant or anything about it. So she really made me find myself without me even realizing it to this day.
Yeah. So you are beautiful, definitely. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you continue to do what you're doing. That's amazing. Okay, so thank y'all. We're gonna do another switch. I think we have a few more, and then so that way we don't run out of time.
All right. So
thank y'all.
what I have back here, Tyler, Jessica, Natalie.
All right, so we're back with a different crew now. So who do we have here?
I'm Jessica Monge.
I'm Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry? Tyler Perry?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I was like, I thought he was messing with me.
No, yeah.
Okay, Tyler Perry.
Yeah, for real?
The real Tyler Perry. Go ahead.
I'm Natalie Diaz.
Natalie Diaz. Okay, so you were excited about Preguntas al Chile. So I'm going to ask you a few of them because you even studied for them. So, all right, here we go. You ready? All right, so we're going to do a small version of Preguntas al Chile. Tacos o tortas?
Tortas.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Corn tortilla, flour tortilla.
Corn.
Okay. Gorditas, flautas.
Gorditas.
Mexican coca, jarrito.
Jarrito.
Okay. Agua de horchata, jamaica, tamarindo.
Horchata.
Salsa verde, salsa roja.
Verde.
Are you over 21? Okay, never mind. Disregard the last two. Valentina, tapatio, cholula.
Valentina.
Okay. Paleta, sandía, elote o mango.
Mango.
Okay. Conchitas, brown, white or pink.
Pink.
And refried beans or borracho beans?
Borracho.
Ah, she was ready.
ready.
These are real tough questions. If they catch you at first, all of a sudden you're like, oh, what's going on? I know. See, I was getting you ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, what has your experience been in NG, and how'd you find out about NG?
So I'm newer to NG. I found out through NG through Natalie. We went to school together and we studied now together.
That's nice.
So whenever I joined NG, at first I was like, I'm not gonna fit in. Like, I'm short. I'm 4'11" and a half. Okay, and a half. So when people
Everybody
see me,
rounds
like,
up.
yeah, you have to, right?
Absolutely.
Whenever people see me, they're just like, "Oh, you're so little." I'm like, little, but wait till you see me.
Feisty.
So I found out about NG through her, and I was like, I need to take this opportunity and I need to grow from it. So yeah.
That's what's up. So what has, like, when in the real world, what has it, how do you use all these things that you have used here?
So everything I learned through NG, I built confidence. So my communication skills, being able to network and basically open doors for myself, but also take the opportunities that Miss Becky has opened for me and kind of promote myself through there.
Yeah, that's what's up. Awesome. Okay, Mr. Tyler Perry. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Great voice, by the way. Okay,
it.
so tell me, what has you experienced being at NG?
So NG has opened up my eyes to a lot of things. Growing up, I always wanted to wear what the cool kids in school were wearing. Mm-hmm. And then at times I would go out and get it. I put it on and be like, it don't look good on me. But I would still do it because I wanted to fit in. Mm-hmm. I've always been big into different fashions, different hobbies, different, just like looking different. I didn't ever pursue modeling until I would say reconnect with Miss Becky. Me and Miss Becky are family, like literal.
Little family?
Literal family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So she...
Yeah.
So she found me and she asked me if I had ever considered modeling, and I was like, no. I was like, wasn't thinking about it at the time. At the time that we reconnected, I had just lost my uncle, so I was kind of like, I'm not doing anything. I'm working. That's all I'm doing. I'm not focused on anything really. I didn't really care for anything. And then I gave it a chance. I ended up going to class. I sat out the first couple classes. I wasn't comfortable doing it. And then I started doing it, and just through that experience, like, I've opened my eyes to, be different, stand out, just wear what makes you comfortable. And as long as you present yourself and hold yourself up to a certain standard, then everybody else will see that, and then they'll want to wear what you're wearing. And that's also opened my eyes and made me realize, okay, I can do just about anything that I put my mind to, and I'll do it.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. And I'm glad that you was able to find that. Sometimes we go around the world trying to find what everybody is doing, but never look inside to see what it can be. So It's glad that it's projected now. And what else, as far as like in the real world, that you feel like it's helped you?
I guess just finally understand that people have different perspectives on things, and just because you don't see it that way, that's okay. For a while, I didn't really take anything into consideration. I was very shut off. So I was very, I would say rude. I was probably rude to a lot of people. Just not intentional. Just, hey, if I don't know you, then don't talk to me. Like, it doesn't, just don't get in my space and don't interrupt like what I'm doing. To everybody else that knows me now, I'm this person that's open and outgoing and all that. But growing up, I didn't like expressing myself because it wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But once I got to modeling and then going to New York Fashion Week, I saw the real example of how whenever I present myself a certain way, somebody wants what I'm doing or wants to do what I'm doing or wants to see, I guess how it is. For example, we did Society Fashion Week last year in September.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Times Square at night, took photos on the red steps, having a great time. And as we were getting done, wrapping up, somebody walked up and was like, "Hey, I want that jacket you're wearing." And I was like, "Okay." It kind of caught me off guard. And then I said, "Well, hold on." I said, "Don't move." And I got Miss Becky, and I was like, "Hey, it's like somebody wants a jacket. Like, I don't know what to say or do. Like, I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not taking off my jacket to give it to this guy. Like, so I said, "Hey, like, talk to her," and I think we ended up selling it. And so,
oh, nice.
It really opened my eyes to that. Hey, as long as I do something correctly and I am an example for a lot of younger students in the studio.
Right.
I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, and they all look up to me, and the other 3 of them model with Miss Becky.
Oh, awesome.
And so whatever I do, they want to follow suit, and especially my little brother. I got to set an example, which I didn't at first growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now now I realize it's time to step up and be a presenter to people who don't know me and to people who do know me in life.
So it shows a lot of maturity, and I think in all of your kids, as far as like being able to reflect on the things that you were not good at or you needed to work on, and admitting in camera that you needed to work on that.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's awesome. But your voice is very intimidating too. So maybe that's the point where maybe don't want to.
So I recently went to a workshop in San Antonio, also by family, Issa DeLeon, who has her own agency, going to San Antonio. I was a guest speaker. I was nervous. I said, I've only done probably 3 shows and with Miss Becky, and I'm going here not knowing who's got more experience, who's doing what. So I made it a point to express that, hey, I'm not here to tell you how to do your job. I'm here to tell you what I did and what helped me be comfortable in what I do and how I do it.
That's nice.
And once I got talking, it was okay. But I think I helped. I know there's one student there that really I really got to about expressing himself, and it really helped. So
that's beautiful. Thank you.
That's what I want to keep doing, and hopefully I can. I just, like I said, I make my own opportunities to do that in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing. Thank you. Now you have a very interesting story of how you find NG. Tell me about this story.
Well, when I first found out about NG, I first started modeling when I was 14, turning 15. And so when I was 14, I started, going to meetups just with random photographers. And eventually I got reached out from Mr. Daniel. He's one of the photographers for NG, and he's been working with them for longer than I've known her. And so I booked a shoot with Mr. Daniel, and I was there with my mom, and Soprani was there. Soprani and her mom was there. My first photo shoot with Daniel, and Soprani's one of the NG.
She's been with me for years. Soprani's actually in college in Philadelphia right now.
Oh, nice.
And dancing and stuff. But Soprani had been with me for years, and she was a part of our group called Blend, which was a vocal group.
Oh yeah, y'all performed for us at one of the car shows that we did. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, Soprani was there, and her and my mom were talking while I was doing while I was modeling, and G came up, and they were like, "Oh, there's this workshop coming up at this company called Next Generation, and you should go to it." So they gave me the details, and I was kind of skeptical at first, but I ended up going, and I was so scared. I was so nervous, and Miss Becky could tell, I had no idea what I was getting into, and I remember coming in and, whenever she gave me feedback, after I had done my little walk, she was like, "You look really scared whenever you're walking." And I was like, I know, I was so scared. It was so nerve-wracking, but because I walked in and I saw Nikendall and Giselle, and they got mean walks. They're good. And so it was kind of intimidating because I wasn't at that point. It was my first, I was only print modeling then. That was my first time doing anything with walking. So, that's how pretty much but the energy was so good. I loved it. I remember after that, I actually got invited to the San Antonio walk was it Generation?
A Generation Fashion Runway.
Generation Fashion Runway. And that was my first ever show with Miss Becky. I was so excited when I found out. I think I remember I cried whenever I found out.
Oh, wow.
I was so excited because I had no idea what I was getting into. It was my first thing like that. So I was really happy. And so, yeah. And ever since then, if it weren't for Mr. Daniel and Soprani showing me, I would have never gone to New York Fashion Week, to Miami Fashion Week. We're going back in July, and I'm very excited about it.
Awesome. So what else have you taken from NG as far as teaching you in the real world, or just your experience in general?
Honestly, it's just I've learned how scary the industry is and how hard it's going to be. She really coaches us to learn how to deal with it, to be strong about it, have a strong head going into it. It's in New York Fashion Week, I remember a lot of people were mean there. It was mean. I know. It was just such a weird thing to see because we're so used to Miss Becky being, she's still very strict. She makes sure you're on point. If you're not on point, she'll let you know.
I'll see you on there.
Yeah.
I want to get straight.
Yeah.
I want to do the right thing. I'm not even walking.
Yeah, but it's she gives you a strong head going into these things. I've been. I actually modeled with this guy named, I probably shouldn't name names, but he was blacklisted, and it was a very bad experience. I was 15, I was actually 14, and he was hitting on me.
You get closer to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was actually, I was 14, and he was hitting on me. This man was 30, and he was making very sexual remarks about me, and it was just I was 14, I don't know. It's very, very... My mom was in front of me, too. He was hitting on me and my mom, which is very crazy.
But your mom looks like you.
I know. My mom looks...
Her mom's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's
Your mom looks 20
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom is really pretty. I love my mom.
So the other thing that I like about you is you have some beautiful girls. And again, I think it's because of the confidence and everything else. But you hear all the stories on the news and on different things like that about different things like that happen to you and stuff. And I think you do a real good job in getting them ready for that part. The real life. That's why I was asking you about your real life experience, because that really reflects when you're out there, let's say the trenches, because that does happen. Yes. And you have to be ready to and I always have y'all to, hey, this is, you need to be here, or we're going to come get you, or we're going to know somebody's going to go get you, stay there. If you don't feel safe, get out of it. And then you teach that, and it's a beautiful thing because they do have to be careful out there, and the gentlemen too,
Yes.
but mostly the ladies,
No,
of course.
definitely. I have a story to share. Can I share this story?
Absolutely.
With the okay.
Get the mic.
So, we were touring. Sorry, Natalie. We were touring, and we were doing a show called Why Did I Stay? And it was about, we were like ambassadors for domestic violence, but it was domestic violence in like young relationships, teenage relationships. And it was an amazing performance, and Pro Kid was in it. Let me see, who was here that was in Why Did I Stay? My Why Did I Stay group. Oh, Keziah, Hannah. I don't know, are they still online?
I think they left us.
No, they might have left us.
Yeah.
Okay. But my guys, okay, because with the girls, I talk to the girls a lot about like when you do photo shoots, knowing who you're talking with, who you're dealing with, a buddy system when you go to take photos. If you need to know who you're going to shoot with, you need to go investigate, look into them. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. We go over a lot of those things. But even my guys, because the females today, you know, aggressive, very, very aggressive. And I had this one incident where my guys, okay, I have Pro Kid, Legion, and
they're strong, big fellas.
Ron, yeah, they don't need no protection, right? Until the crazy little women come out, and then and I have a little hot temper, so I can I don't like, you know, because to me they're yes, grown men, yeah, but they're still like little boys to me. I still see them, you know, like I don't know, Colton's young, so I think they're all young like that. But I'll never forget Ron Haw. He's not here today. Poor Ron Haw. We had just did a performance. They had just got off the stage. We are walking, and mind you, the guys are the dancers are being surrounded. And normally I'm used to my guys would always protect our girls because our girls would be walking, and we were wearing like these leotards that we'd wear with that performance. And the guys were always like making sure, protecting the girls, make sure they're okay. Well, this particular time, the guys are like walking. The girls already made it safe. And it's Ron's walking. It's a crowd full of people, and we're trying to make it through. And also, he stops walking, and I'm behind him, and I bump into him, and I'm just like, Ron, and he's like, Miss Becky, and I can't see what's going on in front of him. He's like, because they got off stage, so they didn't have a shirt on. Because of this one scene that their shirt comes off, and he's like, Miss Becky, and it was Ron, and it was me and Legion, who's, you know, very tall and real muscly too. And I said, what's going on? He's Miss Becky, Miss Becky. That's what I said. I said, what is going on? I look over. There's a lady there, and she's full-fledged, just his family, grabbing his nipples and just twisting them.
Are you serious? What the
She was just a twisting. She was just twisting away. And I said, hey. I started slapping her hands.
Yeah.
I jumped in front of Ron. I moved her hands. I said, we don't touch him. We don't touch the nipples. We don't touch the guys. Let's keep our hands to ourselves. And she had a little bit to drink. And she's like, oh, but I think women think because it's a male that it's okay. And Ron, like, he was in shock. He didn't know how to handle it. He's like, do I touch her? Because also two men, like, you can't just put your hands on any female any kind of way without it turning on you. And also, you know, he's African American. She was Caucasian. You have to be careful how you handle situations like that. And she was all up in his Kool-Aid on his chest. And I had to jump in front of him. And I'm like, hey, we're not going to be touching him. I turned into the bodyguard. It was for the first time it switched where the guys always protected us. And Ron was just sitting there. He's like, Miss Becky. Like, and I turned, I said, what? I was like, put my ninja suit on. I'm like, what are you doing? We can't be touching. We don't touch the dancers. Absolutely. I was like, we don't touch the dancers.
Absolutely.
We don't touch them. So it was a funny story.
All right, so we're gonna be wrapping it up. We're gonna be releasing in 2 or 3 weeks. So what events do you have coming up here soon?
Okay, so we have we're actually traveling out to Miami Fashion Week with a group of models. We're actually taking 30 models out to Miami.
Nice.
And we're going in July, and then we return back in September to New York Fashion Week. And then we're heading out to LA Fashion Week. And this is with our brand Styles and Designs by Miranda. We're taking 30 models to LA also in March. And then we'll be back in New York. So we're going to be touring yearly for fashion weeks for Styles and Designs by Miranda. We also, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary. Yeah, so we're totally excited. And we're going to do an NG Showcase recital on October the 2nd. Yes, October the 2nd. And bringing in our new with our O and just reuniting everybody if we can. It'll be we'll also have some designers there as well, so it'll be a fashion show. My recitals are not recitals, we can't call them that. It's a full-fledged show, and it's going to be dancing and modeling. It's going to be a fashion show. We'll have vendors out there. We'll have a red carpet event, so it'll be pretty cool to see. And
if you need an MC, let me know.
Yes,
I know he's a great voice. I don't know if he's the one, but if you need one, I got you.
Well, then come on, let's go. And Trent's going to be. I'm hoping Trent's going to be on the stage, so he might not be able to do it. So I'm hoping for him to do both.
I'll do y'all justice.
Okay, perfect. And then we also have, because I'm in partnerships with Rhapsody Productions in San Antonio, and we are doing a Generation Fashion Show. Miranda and I are also coordinators of the Generation Fashion Show as well for San Antonio. Nice. And we have a show coming up in July 30th in San Antonio. They do a hip hop fest where people come in and do performances and compete in hip hop. And at the same time, we're going to be doing a hip hop fashion show as well. Nice. So that's coming up. I hope I got the dates right. If not, I'll post it on my social media for July 30th. And that's going to be with Generation Fashion in San Antonio. And that's with our partnerships with the Rhapsody Productions.
And anything else with the dancing right now, as far as any shows they have or competition besides?
We have competition going on right now, dancing wise, performance wise. We're just now getting back into the DFW area for shows. And so right now, the shows that we have coming up are all traveling out of state for Fashion Week, but we're in the process of starting to do our shows back into the DFW area. We've been traveling out of town a lot and traveling out of state, and so now we're bringing it back home to the DFW area. So that's our focus for this coming up year. Yeah. So if you're we're accepting new students. So
you're accepting new students, and there's you don't have to even know how to dance.
You don't even have to dance.
Left feet, and
you could just be in the living room, moving the coffee table out, and just busting a move. And you really like music. Come on, you don't have to have any experience. That's my job. That's what we do. You don't have to know how. I specialize in training and teaching, and I do a lot of. I wear different hats, and we're designer. We do model coaching. We do a variety of different things and coordinate different shows. But my heart and my first love is teaching. Absolutely. So you don't have to have any experience. You just have to love music, love to dance. Yeah. And I can teach anybody how to do anything.
And as far as all the social media, where can they find you? Where can they reach you at? Besides, I'll Google you. But you come up. So.
Yeah. Okay. So on Instagram, we're NG Professional CO, I think, for company.
I'll put the links in the description of the video.
The link will be, and we're also Styles and Designs by Miranda. I have several links, but if you go to those two links, they'll lead you to everything that we do. But the main one is NG Professional CO, which is for company. Right there will lead you to everything that we're doing. I also have a model workshop coming up here in San Antonio on May 15th, and I think
the next weekend.
And then the 29th is the one that I'm doing in the DFW area. So we're always looking for new faces, new models to represent our brand for Fashion Weeks. But we are also in the process of accepting new dancers for upcoming shows and events, because we're about to get started with all our shows and performances here in the DFW area.
Awesome. And we're about to wrap it up, but thank y'all very much. I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you for sharing. And Ms. Trejo is as far as they say the people that cook the best is the ones that cook with love, right? Yes. So anytime when you do something with love, it reflects on everything and everybody that you touch. So all the people that you have touched is amazing, and the not only the dancing and the technique, but the actual mental to get them to the next level. I think is a beautiful thing. And Miss Becky Trejo, you are a global Latin factor.
Becky Trejo Upshaw. My husband would kill me if you don't throw Upshaw. But I am Becky Trejo Upshaw. Yeah. So that way I could go home tonight.
Miss Becky Trejo Upshaw, you are a global Latin factor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think you're doing beautiful work. I'm super proud of you. I met you years ago, and I seen, I started doing this. I'm and I thought about you, and I seen a couple of posts. I'm because I think I realized how in depth it was until I started talking to you. Oh wow, I need to have her here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast. Remember, we are just like you. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time.